We are one of the only companies, if not the only company left, that has been in business for 30 years. There is not a diaper on the market that has not got some of the design features of the Mother-Ease product line. So we've influenced every diaper that's available on the market. I've always been an environmentally sensitive person, always considering the amount of waste I was producing. And so when we had children, so Rick and I have 5 children together, and so for me it was just natural, even 40 years ago when our eldest son was born, to use cloth diapers. Even though disposables were already an option at that time, for me that was not an option. I was going to use cloth diapers because I didn't want to leave a footprint. Rick and I had 3 children at the time, and now we were expecting our 4th child, and I had always been using cloth diapers, and it was the long rectangular kind with the pins, and then you had to put a rubber pant over top, and that was a lot of work. And so I thought, if I'm looking for something easier, an easier way to cloth diaper, perhaps others are too. When our 4th son was born, I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I sat down to design some diapers that I thought were going to be user-friendly, and hopefully that somebody else would find them user-friendly as well. I actually started kind of on the living room floor. I laid out material and worked on patterns. The patterns, I think, were originally made out of newspaper, and trial and error, cut it, sewed it on my home sewing machine, and tried it on the baby, had him use it, it didn't work, try it again. The first diaper that I came out with was an all-in-one diaper. That means that the waterproof cover and the absorbent component are sewn together, they're not detachable. Very quickly I realized that there was kind of a limited market for that because it was a fairly expensive product for a person to have to buy, and so I came out with a Sandy's diaper within a year. And this one has, the cover is separate from the absorbent diaper, and so it's much more affordable for a person to buy. Then I realized, you know, there's a market for a diaper that grows with your child, so a one-size diaper. So that's when I came out with our original one-size diaper. So at first we didn't have our own diaper covers. In 1993, after the birth of the 5th son, that gave me an opportunity to develop and design a diaper cover. So we came out with the Airflow cover and the Ricky Wrap, and those were made to cover the one-size diaper and the Sandy's diaper. So when we're getting into the 2000s, there started to become a demand for slimmer fitting cloth diapers. That became popular. And then in 2008, we came out with the Wizard line, and the Wizard line consisted of the Uno diaper, which is an all-in-one slim fitting diaper, the Duo diaper, which is a 2-part system, but you can pre-snap it together and then it becomes an all-in-one when you put it on your baby. So we still have our traditional diapers, and we have the Wizard line, which is the Uno and the Duo, that meet the slim fitting category that we have now. Yeah.
My name's Rick Froese. I'm a partner and co-worker of Erica. My background is engineering and business, and I got involved with Mother-Ease after Erica got her first order back in 1991. When I started at Mother-Ease, I dealt with production, order fulfillment, general management, and administration within the business. Everything from screening fabrics as they come in before we use them. We make sure we've got a rigorous process of testing fabrics before we use them. We'd rather know that they're good before we actually use them in a product and ship them out the door. Then there's issues associated with maintaining equipment and managing the production, and just keeping things running smoothly on a day-to-day basis to meet the orders that we receive and in a timely manner. Our fabrics are all custom made for a specific purpose, and we have a rigorous process of testing these fabrics before we use them. It'll go through a wash test just to make sure that they meet certain wash standards, shrinkage standards. And this makes sure that when we put a product out to the customer that it actually meets the standards that we've set for the product. in terms of either weight or absorbency, and this then helps us to meet the needs of the product. So one of the biggest challenges I've had is keeping production running. There's a lot of variables that you can control, but some that can just come at you at any time. For instance, the equipment can go down at a moment's notice, and even though you call in a mechanic to look after the equipment, they aren't always able to fix the problem. So I've had to learn along the way to become I've become an expert at equipment maintenance, and I've spent a number of long nights over the years to get equipment up and running, so that it would be operational by the morning, so that we could keep production going, keep people employed, and keep product moving out the door. Our fourth son, Alexander, came on a number of years ago and has taken over a number of the responsibilities that I had been looking after for the first 20 years or so.
My earliest memories at Motheries would be going to work with my dad when I was about 4 years of age. He would bring me into the cutting room and spread out some craft paper, and I had an ink pad and some stampers. In fact, about 8 months ago, this ink package showed up on my desk with a note that read, "Do you recognize this? It's from your early days at Motheries. I took you to work because Mom was home with a newborn. That newborn was my youngest brother, Eric." Because it's a family business, us brothers have always been involved. But it really started when I began high school in grade 9. I would take the city bus after work and close and inspect products. That continued throughout high school and into college, where I studied international business and started working here part-time. It wasn't until I graduated about 12 years ago that I started full-time working with the various teams in the various departments, really learning the business inside and out. More recently, I became the general manager and now oversee the office as well as the cutting production and the sewing production. The biggest challenge that we've had in the past few years was finding new sewers. With the surge of demand over the past few years, it was evident that we needed more sewers, more equipment, and more technology. One day, when Mom and Dad are ready to slow down, Melissa and I look forward to running Motheries with the amazing staff that we have.
I know Alexander was small, but maybe 2.5, and I started at their house, and there was just 2 ladies, Margaret and Irene, and myself. And then they hired another person, Judith. But originally it was at their house. And then we will work down in the basement, and we go upstairs and eat in the kitchen. And Erica will make coffee or make tea. So it was always like a family, you know, because you were in their house. And then we moved to a different location and more people got hired. When I first started at, Motheries, it was like one size and Sandy's. And then, it got bigger. Then we moved to a different location, and then Erica introduced more stuff. And then we had the Rickies, and they had the Airflow, and we had still the Sandys and the one size, but then she had multi-fit and OA liners and snap-in liners. And then we got big at that location, and then we moved over here, and more product was introduced. We still made the same product, but then the Wizard line came in, the Unos, the Duos, and new cover material. So that was exciting. New print, always new print, so that was exciting. Erica designed swim diapers because she thought, there was a market there. So she designed, found material, sourced the material, and designed swim diapers. And there was a challenge of putting the binding around it. That was a challenging time when she made the swim diapers to make it work, but it was a lot of fun. It was frustrating sometimes, but when we got to the end that they were done, then it was really rewarding. I retired not because I didn't love the work. My hands started to give me problems, and then I wanted to go visit family. So then I decided that I was going to retire. but I was still going to come in, but not have responsibilities. And that was okay. So then I finally decided to retire completely. But then after about 2 or 3 months, I started to feel so sad. And my kids, my 2 sons said, "Ma, you are happier when you're going to work. Why don't you go back to work at Mother E's again?" So then I come whenever, you know, they need extra hand, or when I'm bored, I come and pass a few hours, have coffee with the ladies, work a little bit, and then I go home. Erica always sourced the best material. Always. Like, from the thread, she always used the best thread. The snaps, the best snaps, the material, they had their own material made. They bought their own yarn, and they had it knit just for them. And before we cut, it was always, you know, checked to make sure it was right. And I always stressed that it had to be number one. If a customer pays for something, they deserve what they pay for, and it has to last. So that's been the number one. The first day that we start, that doesn't matter who starts it here, it was always product. Quality is number one. And I think that's why they have lasted this long.
Well, 30th anniversary is quite a milestone. I think most businesses don't even make it through, you know, 3 years, let alone 5, and here we are at 30. So yeah, I think it's been quite an accomplishment, and it's also been, you know, most of our working lives that we've been involved in the business.
I'm proud of what my parents have been able to accomplish in these 30 years. It's also exciting to see what the future will hold, not only with the product development, but also with the technologies in textiles, as well as the automation that we can bring into the factory. And knowing that fewer disposable diapers will make it into the landfill from what we do every single day.
From the beginning, always, what has been first and foremost in my mind, my top priority, is to make diapering products that perform, that you're never disappointed to own, that will work for you for as long as we can possibly make them work for you, reasonably priced so that they're affordable to the average person. That has always been my mandate.